There are 4 verses near the beginning of Genesis that scholars have argued about for 2,000 years. Giants, sons of God, and a warning that came right before the flood. Genesis chapter 6. When man began to multiply on the face of the land, the sons of God saw the daughters of man, that they were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Verse 4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. 2 sentences. That is all Genesis gives us. And from those 2 sentences come 3 questions that refuse to die. Who were the sons of God? Who were the Nephilim? And why did the flood come next? Start with the word itself. Nephilim comes from a Hebrew root that means to fall. Many scholars read it as the fallen ones, others as those who cause others to fall. Now the phrase, sons of God, Job uses it twice, and both times it means angelic beings presenting themselves before the Lord. That is the oldest and most common use in the Hebrew Bible. The daughters of man are exactly what they sound like. Human women, ordinary families, ordinary life, about to intersect with something that was not ordinary at all. And the offspring are called mighty men of renown, warriors whose names echoed. Whatever the Nephilim were, the ancient world never forgot them. So, who were they? Christians have given 3 serious answers for 2,000 years. Each one has strong defenders. Each one has problems. Walk through all 3 with me. View 1. The oldest view. The sons of God were rebellious angels who abandoned their station, took human wives, and produced the Nephilim, giants, a corruption of the human race itself. This is how the earliest Jewish readers understood it. It is the view of the oldest translations and of many church fathers in the first centuries after Christ. And the New Testament seems to nod toward it. Jude speaks of angels who did not stay within their own position of authority, but left their proper dwelling. Peter says God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to chains of gloomy darkness. The strongest objection comes from Jesus himself, who said the angels in heaven neither marry nor are given in marriage. Defenders answer, these angels were not in heaven, and that was exactly the sin. View 2. The sons of God were the godly line of Seth, and the daughters of man were the line of Cain. Believers marrying unbelievers until faith itself dissolved. This became the majority view for much of church history. Augustine held it. It keeps the story fully human and reads the flood as judgment on compromise. Its weakness is the text itself. Ordinary marriages between 2 human families do not naturally produce giants, or men of renown, or a judgment that drowns the world. View 3. The sons of God were tyrant kings who claimed divine titles, seized women into harems, and bred dynasties of violence. Power without restraint, filling the earth with bloodshed. 3 views: angels, apostates, or tyrants. Scripture does not settle it beyond argument, and honest teachers admit it. But the oldest reading remains the one the earliest witnesses held. Now the book everyone asks about. First, Enoch. An ancient Jewish text found among the Dead Sea Scrolls that tells the angel story in vivid, terrifying detail. In Enoch, 200 angels, called Watchers, descend on Mount Hermon. They swear an oath together, take wives, and teach mankind forbidden arts, weapons, sorcery, seduction. Their offspring are giants who devour the works of men, until the earth itself cries out. In Enoch, the flood is heaven's answer to that cry. Here is the striking part. Jude, in your New Testament, quotes the Book of Enoch by name. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied, saying, "Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his holy ones." So is Enoch scripture? No, the church never received it into the canon, and neither did the Jewish community. A book can preserve true memories and still not be God-breathed. Read Enoch the way Jude did, as an ancient witness worth hearing, but test every word of it against the book that God did give you. That is the safe ground. Then came the water. Every Nephilim, every mighty man, every corrupted thing went under it. 8 people came through. So the story should end there. It does not. Go back to verse 4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward. 2 quiet words, and also afterward, that carry the mystery straight past the flood. Centuries later, Moses sends 12 spies into Canaan. They come back shaking. We saw the Nephilim there. We seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them. Deuteronomy names the Rephaim, and a king called Og of Bashan, whose iron bed was 9 cubits long. That is over 13 feet. Scripture records the measurement like a museum label. And in the valley of Elah, a boy with a sling faces a man from Gath, standing over 9 feet tall. Goliath descends from the Anakim, who survived Joshua's wars. The echo of Genesis 6 reaches all the way to David. How did giants exist after the flood? Scripture never says. Some argue a second incursion. Some argue the word simply came to mean any giant clan. The Bible leaves the question open, and so will we. Step back and ask why Genesis tells us this at all. Because it is not a monster story. It is a corruption story. Every boundary God made, heaven and earth, angel and man, was being erased. And notice what God protects, not just people, a promise. The seed of the woman, promised in Eden, had to survive to reach Bethlehem. Noah found grace, and the promise walked through the flood in one family. Now hear the New Testament's last word on the powers of Genesis 6. Peter says Christ went and proclaimed his victory to the spirits in prison from the days of Noah. Even they had to hear that he won. Whatever the Nephilim were, this is the point the apostles land on. Angels, authorities, and powers have been made subject to him. There is no mystery in Genesis that is not answered by an empty tomb. So what do we take from 4 ancient verses? 3 things, and none of them require you to solve the mystery. 1. The Bible is honest about mystery. It tells you what you need, not everything you want. Hold the clear things tightly and the debated things loosely. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. 2. Evil never outruns judgment. The mighty men of renown had every advantage on earth, and the earth forgot where they were buried. God is patient, Peter says, not slow. 3. God preserves his promise through every corruption. One faithful family was enough then. It is still how he works now. Never underestimate a small obedience in a dark generation. 4 verses. 2,000 years of argument. 1. Unshaken promise. The Nephilim are a mystery. The God who judged them is not. If this deepened your view of Scripture, subscribe, because next we open the story the Bible tells right before this one goes quiet for good. And tell me in the comments, which of the 3 views do you find most convincing and why?